The threat of a powerful cyclone forced nearly 800,000 people to evacuate their homes in India Thursday. Cyclone Fani is expected to make landfall Friday afternoon, bringing destructive winds and torrential rains. Thousands of shelters have been set up to accommodate over 1 million people. The cyclone formed in the Bay of Bengal and would be the most intense storm to hit India in 20 years. CBS News contributing meteorologist Jeff Berardelli joins me now. So, Jeff, I mean, this really sounds like it could be so devastating. What kind of impact is Cyclone Fani expected to actually have on India?
All right, so, it's getting close to the coast. It's only about 50 miles or less off the coast, the eye of the storm. Winds today, 155 miles an hour. That is a borderline Cat 4, Cat 5 equivalent cyclone. They call them cyclones there. We call them hurricanes
they're the same things,
where we are, but they're the same thing. And this is going to be a very strong storm. In fact, the strongest storm to ever hit that area, on record at least, back in 1999, it killed 10,000 people. Now, I will tell you that things have changed a lot over the past couple of decades. They have much better warning systems, much better evacuation systems. They're evacuating over 1 million people in that area. What we're concerned about, that storm back in 1999 produced 15 to 20 feet of storm surge. And there was water inland 20 miles, ocean or Bay of Bengal water inland 20 miles. So we're worried about that. There's already been up to a foot of rain in some places. There's likely to be probably another foot in certain areas. So this is a serious situation. It's very low lying. The coastline's very low lying. There are millions of people there, so storm surge is a big issue. But you go inland 10 or 20 miles, a lot of hills. Those hills kind of consolidate that rain. The rain falls down the hills, and we get flash flooding. So we're worried about all those impacts.
So is this normal for a storm of this intensity in this region this time of year? Yeah,
May is actually their peak season, or one of their peak seasons. There's one during the spring, and then there's one during the fall. So it's not uncommon to see a storm like this time of year, although this is an exceptionally strong one. But there have been equivalent storms in the Bay of Bengal.
So this comes after Mozambique encountered 2 destructive cyclones in one season. Are we seeing a lot of cyclones? Is that considered a lot? And if so, why?
So it's hard to tell if there's been any longer-term impact, let's say, from climate change and what's happening north of the equator, so in the northern Indian Ocean. We do think, and there was a study published late in the fall, about an increase in strong, so Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5 equivalent hurricanes in the southern Indian Ocean, impacting parts of Africa. Over the past 20 or 30 years or so, we've seen an uptick in that, and we do think it's due to warm water. As for why these storms have formed, it's something called, this does happen this time of year, but the storm that's in the northern part of the Bay of Bengal right now, part of it may be due to something called the MJO, which is the Madden-Julian oscillation. It's not something we're going to get into necessarily, but it's just a normal oscillation, and sometimes they can kind of spark off storms, and that's what happened in this instance.
So parts of the U.S. have also experienced a pretty intense spring. The Mississippi River rose to its highest level in 25 years on Thursday, and that's after a series of storms and flash floods. Why has there been so much flooding in the Midwest this year? It's
been an incredibly wet year so far. Since January, a lot of places in the upper Midwest have seen around 2 times their normal rainfall. If you remember, a lot of places had record-setting snowfall. And then last weekend, we had a strip of 3 to 6 inches of snow around Iowa, up into Minnesota, Illinois. And all of that melts off and runs into already, fairly swollen rivers. And so you can see right now, about 37 rivers are still at major flood stage. And in terms of flooding, over 300 river gauges are in flood stage right now. So and you can see that map right there. So it's a big and really significant situation along the Mississippi River right now.
Well, we've also seen over 50 tornadoes sweep through parts of the South this week. Is more severe weather expected?
So we think there's going to be a little bit more severe weather tomorrow, especially in Texas. That will be the bullseye. Over the weekend, there'll be some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms across the southern and eastern part of the United States. And then I think next Tuesday and Wednesday, probably another powerful severe weather outbreak is possible. But again, it's May, so this is fairly typical for this time of year. But watch out, every week or so, and sometimes more often than that, we're going to end up with severe weather, at least for the next month and a half, because this is the typical season. So again, tomorrow in Texas, and then next week in the middle and southern plains states, next Tuesday, Wednesday.
All right, we'll be watching. Jeff Berardelli. Jeff, thank you.
You're welcome.